In this video, I'm going to show you how to run a 2x2 factorial MANOVA. The M stands for multivariate, and that means you got more than one DV. So let's start there. Our first dependent variable is depression. The higher the score, the more depressed. The second one is eating disorder, same thing. The higher the number, the more severe the eating disorder, and that makes them both scale variables, right? Back to this guy. And our categorical variables are gender, male and female, and therapy type, just therapy, is cognitive behavioral therapy or psychodynamic therapy. Okay, so let's run this real quick. Analyze. Where are you? General linear model, multivariate. Your DVs are depression and eating disorder. Fixed factors are gender and therapy. And what do we want? We want options, descripts, effect size, power, homogeneity variance. And we're not checking normality on this thing at all, so I should do it. I'm going to show you how to interpret the output. So the gender, there's 20 males, 20 females, and 20 people getting CBT and 20 people getting psychodynamic. Now let's look at the means for depression. Okay, here's your first DV. So there's males, CBT, psychodynamic, and big difference there, right? It's almost 8.5 points. So for the females, same thing, big difference. So don't be surprised when you get a lot of significance in there. So that's the first DV. Here's the second one, eating disorder. And these are all relatively the same. I'm not seeing a big difference here. So I'm predicting that there's going to be a significant difference in depression scores based on therapy and maybe gender, but let's let the software do the heavy lifting. Moving on, let me get this thing a little bit straightened out for you. Move just a little bit there, boom. All right, the box's M test of covariance. This is your homogeneity variance, and the sig value has to be less than 0.001 to violate the homogeneity variance assumption, and it did not. So let's move on. Multivariate tests, they are very useful, but not for this video, okay? This says overall that gender, there was no significant difference, but therapy, there was significant difference, but it doesn't tell you which DV. So we're going to go down to the output box. And again, the assumption of homogeneity variance was not violated. We knew that from the box's M. This right here is your money box. Let me get it on the screen for you. Hold on. Okay, from the very top, so the corrected model on depression, that's your first DV. The sig value is 0.000. So in other words, there was a significant difference somewhere between the groups for depression, but we don't know if it's gender, we don't know if it's therapy type, okay? But let's keep going. The effect size was really strong, 0.45. The power, which is off screen, you can't see, is 0.996, so that's good. Boom. Eating disorder, on the other hand, it has a sig value of 0.981, which means there's no significant difference in the eating disorder scores between either the gender or the therapy type. So, but there still could be interaction, but let's keep going. Never look at the intercept, don't care. Gender, so is there a significant difference between the males and the females in depression scores? This says no, there is not, okay? Is there a significant difference in eating disorder between the males and the females? This says no, it is not, right? So there is no significant difference based on gender in anything. Coming up, move that double click thing. Hold on a second. So now we're looking at therapy. Was there significant difference in the therapy types in depression scores? Yes, there was. Okay? So the different therapies showed a difference in a depression score, but again, not in the eating disorder score. Okay? And then here's the interaction term, the one with the little asterisk. Between gender and therapy, this shows there's no significant interaction in depression or in eating disorder. So let's take a look at the means real quick of the one that showed a significant difference. In other words, it was just for depression. and it was just for the therapy type. So let's see which, we go back up to the means column to see who's who. And there we are right there. So it was only for depression, and it was only for therapy type, right? So forget about the males and the females. So we look at the totals for CBT versus psychodynamic. We use these values right here. Again, it didn't matter if they were males or females, okay? But it did matter on which therapy they got. So again, you would use this as the mean for CBT, standard deviation, psychodynamic, 25. So it looks to me like CBT was much better at reducing depression than the psychodynamic. So I hope that helps. MGZ, out.